Welcome to Florida's #1 rated beach in 2025, or at least according to Dr. Beach, who not only rated this beach as the #1 beach in Florida, but also the #4 beach in the entire US.
Now, while Dr. Beach is one of the most widely renowned publications in the world of beach reviews, if you ask me, any source that ranks a New York beach as the #1 beach in America may have questionable judgment.
So today, we're going to be spending the day at delnor-wiggins Pass State Park to see what the beach has to offer and to see if it ranks at the top of our list of Florida beaches.
Now, in case you're new here, we're Jamie and Skylar, and over the last few years, we've visited around 50 Florida beaches, the majority of which we've taken you to on this channel.
Now, somehow we had not yet visited this beach, so when Dr. Beach named it #1 for Florida for 2025, we knew it was time to finally come and check it out.
Now, if you're wondering where this beach is located, it's around 6 miles south of downtown Bonita Springs and around 11 miles north of downtown Naples.
And considering the beaches around Naples and Bonita Springs are some of the best we've seen in all of Florida, we had some pretty high expectations for this one. So we just made it out to the beach, and we're visiting on a Thursday in June, and it's pretty overcast today, so we didn't expect it to be very busy. Now, there are 4 parking lots that are open, and there are self-pay stations at each parking lot. It was $6 per vehicle for the state park fee. We ended up parking in the lot furthest to the north. Then once we got to the beach, we walked even further north towards the fishing area. It is nice that they do have a designated fishing area, so when you're in the water, you don't have to worry about getting caught on somebody's line.
So we've learned that this state park just recently opened back in April of this year after sustaining major damage from Hurricanes Milton and Helene. And we met some locals who told us that there actually used to be several buildings in this state park which housed restrooms and had showers. Unfortunately, those have all been demolished, and the only amenities that you'll find at this beach now are porta potties, but I do have to say, at least from my personal experience, they are very well maintained.
Now, similar to other Florida beaches that we have visited in state parks, this one is very natural, which means there's a ton of native Florida vegetation, which I love, but it also means a lot of sargassum, as it doesn't appear that this beach is regularly groomed.
Now, like Jamie mentioned, it is pretty cloudy today, but the sun is trying to peek out, and as it does, the water's getting some more color to it. Hopefully, as the day goes on, it will clear off more and more, and the water will keep getting more and more vivid. Now, there has been a storm system out in the Gulf over the last few days, and as a result, the water has been churning pretty good, and it's probably a little more murky than it normally is. But we actually went to Bonita Springs not too long ago, and that's just a few miles up the coast, and that beach had some of the most crystal clear waters we have ever seen in Florida. So it wouldn't surprise me if the water on this beach does get super clear sometimes as well.
Now, even though the storms have made the water a little cloudy, storms also typically bring in a lot of shells, and we have seen people walking up and down looking for shells, so I think we're going to go do a little bit of shelling. While we did find a couple decent ones, there wasn't much for shells along the beach, so we decided to take our search a bit further into the water.
Where's all your shells?
I'm not having any luck with the shells, but there is a really shallow sandbar out there right now. Since we weren't having any luck shelling, we decided to go swimming instead.
So if it was clear, I think it'd be really good shelling because the water stays shallow for quite a ways.
Oh, this is really shallow here.
Yeah.
So walking out here from the beach, the sand is really soft, so I don't feel a need for water shoes or anything like that.
So we're probably at least a couple hundred feet out right now, and the sand is still really soft, and it's still only waist deep. Little wavy though.
That one got my hat. Can you see anything?
No, you can't see anything under there.
Now while we continue to cool down in the water, we do want to show you the coffee shop we stopped by this morning on our drive from Fort Myers Beach to the state park.
Now we decided to start our beach day off here at the Warehouse Cafe, which is around a 10-minute drive from the state park. When we got here, the parking lot was pretty packed and we were a little bit concerned that we wouldn't be able to find any space to sit. But when we got inside, we realized that that was not a concern because this place is absolutely huge, and I really do think it used to be a warehouse because it has really high ceilings and a bit of an industrial vibe.
As soon as we got inside, we saw their pastry case and we both knew right away we had to try this pistachio croissant. It is just covered in pistachio cream and pistachios. We also learned that they do make a few of their flavors in-house. We both went with hot lattes. Skylar's trying their vanilla house-made syrup and I'm trying their brown sugar. So that latte is creamy and has a good balance between the coffee flavor and the sweetness. I really like that brown sugar syrup.
Now, I normally don't order vanilla lattes unless the syrup is homemade because for whatever reason, homemade vanilla syrup just seems to taste so much better, and this is no exception. It is a little bit on the sweeter side, but I'm okay with that because the vanilla flavor is so good and it balances really well with the flavor of the coffee. So both of these lattes are really good, but I still think that without a doubt, the thing we're most excited about is this. Yeah, that is fantastic. The croissant is soft, the cream in the middle and on top is super creamy and just a little bit sweet with a lot of pistachio flavor, and the pistachios on top give it a really nice crunch. This is excellent.
Oh yeah, that cream is delicious. I would definitely recommend this pistachio croissant.
So we're just leaving the Warehouse Cafe and we're so glad we decided to stop by that place. We both agreed that the coffee was good, the atmosphere was great, and that croissant was amazing. We'll see you back at the beach.
So the sand here is pretty white. There are some areas where it's really powdery and squeaky, but other areas where it's real shelly. So we ended up walking further north along the beach, and we found a lot more shells up here, but nothing like the day we were up the coast a couple more miles in Bonita Springs. We have noticed there are a bunch of turtle nests on the beach, and they protect them really well here. They actually put a little cage around them, and you can actually sponsor them if you want to. The beach up here just keeps getting prettier and prettier, so it is definitely worth the walk up to the very north end.
So we've walked about as far north as we can on this beach. We're coming up to an inlet, and as we've gotten further north, the skies have been getting clear, the tide has been going down, and the water's also been getting a little bit calmer. It does seem like the water's a little bit clearer up here by the inlet. Maybe the water that's coming in from inshore is actually clearer than the Gulf water right now.
So we have been at this beach for a few hours now, and we have decided that it is our kind of beach. Because the parking is limited and the beach is so big, it just can't get crazy busy like some of the more popular beaches in this area.
Now, as far as Dr. Beach's #1 rating goes, I do have to mention that he is a legitimate doctor. I think he's an ecologist and a geoscientist, so I'm guessing that he is partial to more natural beaches like this one. So we do kind of understand why he ranked it #1. That being said, I still think as far as secluded beaches go, our favorite is still Caladisi, but I would say this one ranks up with some of our other favorite more secluded beaches in our area, like the ones on Fort DeSoto and Honeymoon Island.
Now, because we thought there were going to be concessions out here, we got to go find some place to eat, and we're going to head just a little bit further south to a second beach.
And we've been wanting to visit this beach ever since we visited Naples a couple years back, but it was still closed due to the hurricanes. So in this video, you're going to be getting some bonus beach footage, but first we got to get some food. So thankfully there are a few highly rated food options within just a couple of blocks of our next beach stop. Some of them were located on resorts, but one of them was identified as a dive bar. And those of you who know us and our channel well know we can never pass up a good dive bar, so we'll see you inside Buzz's Lighthouse. So normally at a dive bar, I gotta order a cheap beer, and that was my plan here, but then the waitress told us that the special drink of the day is a passion fruit jalapeno margarita. Passion fruit and jalapenos are two of my favorite things, so I had to give it a try. It's also lined with tahini. That is my favorite margarita I've probably ever had. You can really taste the passion fruit. The jalapeno is actually quite strong. Jamie, I don't think you're gonna wanna try this one, but I'll gladly drink it all.
The waitress told us that they are known for their grouper Reuben, and I saw that mentioned in multiple reviews, so I had to order that, and Skylar went with their sweet chili shrimp. We love the atmosphere here. We're kind of here at an odd time, so it's not very busy, but there's a lot of lighthouse decor and stained glass. We chose to sit inside in the air conditioning because we needed a break from the heat, but normally we would be eating outside on the water. Those fries are hot and just a little bit crispy and extra good in Skylar's chili sauce. So I think this grouper Reuben is unlike any we've ever tried before, because not only does it have coleslaw on it, but it also has white American cheese in addition to the Thousand Island dressing. I see why people rave about this sandwich, because not only is it stuffed with locally caught fresh grouper, that coleslaw in it is really good, and that white American cheese melts really nice, so it's extra creamy with that Thousand Island dressing.
So I decided to pay the $4 upcharge and get the onion rings as one of my sides because I was just really in the mood for onion rings, and these are excellent. Super crispy, a little bit sweet. I love them. So last but not least is this chili shrimp, which I already know is going to be good because it's battered and fried. It's locally caught shrimp and is covered in this chili sauce, which I've already had on the fries and the onion rings. So this shrimp is a little sweet, a little spicy, a little bit crispy. I'd still say that Jamie's grouper Reuben is the highlight of this meal, but this shrimp does give it a run for its money. It's very good.
So Skylar wasn't lying when he said these were crunchy. I think Skylar downplayed how good his shrimp are. It's the perfect balance between sweet and spicy.
We just finished up our dinner at Buzz's Lighthouse, and that meal was nothing short of amazing. That margarita was excellent, the shrimp was excellent, and so was that grouper Reuben. Now, normally we like to switch things up and visit different places, but I think it's safe to say that we're going to be visiting Buzz's every time we're in this area.
So parking for this next beach was just a couple of blocks from Buzz's, but this experience is totally different from our beach experience earlier today because this area is full of resorts and condominiums, and there's an actual parking garage for this beach. Parking in the garage was a flat rate of $10, and from there it's about a block walk on a paved path.
So we just got here and we can already tell you that this beach has more amenities than the last one. It has a really nice building behind me with restrooms and rinse-off stations. There are definitely still some signs of the hurricane here though. As you can see, that old boardwalk path is definitely still out of commission.
It's still a couple hours before sunset and there are a lot of people still out on the beach. It looks like you can rent water sports here. Here's the view at the main public beach access, but let me turn around here. Look at all that brand new construction, less than a block away. Now the sand here is very white with mixed in shell pieces. It's similar to the sand at Delnor-Wiggins, but it does feel quite a bit softer, and I'm guessing that's because they keep it groomed. Now while we were eating, the winds picked up and clouds inland have started to make their way out to the Gulf. So I don't think we're gonna get in the water here. We might not have a bunch of time here, but we're at least gonna enjoy it while we can.
Now, even though this beach is just a few miles south from Delnor-Wiggins, where we were at earlier, it has a totally different feel to it. It's definitely more manicured. You don't see nearly as much seaweed. And because there's one main parking lot, all of the people are kind of concentrated in the main beach access area, but we didn't have to walk far at all to find a little space to ourselves. Now, while the beach at Delnor-Wiggins did feel very natural, I wouldn't say the same thing about the beach here at Vanderbilt Beach. It's lined with condos and restaurants like the one behind me and coconut palms. So this wind is actually keeping us really comfortable right now, and even though it does look really clear over on the water, if you look the other way, you can see some really dark clouds that could drop a bunch of rain on us at any time. So I think we are going to go for a little walk down the beach, but I don't think we're going to get too far from our vehicle. Now, even though this beach is definitely less natural feeling and a bit more touristy feeling than the one at Delnor-Wiggins, it's still not nearly as touristy feeling as some of the beaches close to where we live, like the ones on Siesta Key and St. Pete Beach. So I'd actually say this is a really good middle of the road kind of beach. It does have some really nice white sand, it does have a few amenities, but it does not have that super touristy feel to it.
So right after Skylar just got done telling y'all how nice this beach was, he stepped on something and I had to pull it out of his foot. Now look over here. Now he's hobbling around on the beach, still trying to get those beach shots.
I don't know what the heck that was in my foot, but I'm glad you're able to get it out.
Now, while we spend the last few minutes walking along this gorgeous beach before the rain comes, we want to know what you guys think. Which beach would you prefer of the two that we showed you today? Delnor-Wiggins, which is more secluded and natural, or Vanderbilt? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to see even more beautiful Florida beaches, then make sure you're subscribed and turn those notifications on. Thanks for watching.